TIG is just almost exactly like MIG, except for it has a electrode in the gun itself, and it has a shield for the electrode. The electrode in the gun, when you're welding, it creates an arc in your metal, and it's not consumed like the other two, where the electrode goes into the metal. It's made out of like tungsten, and it's a high, melting point is very high, but it has a very low tensile strength, so you can like snap it in half. It has to be sharpened like precisely to keep a nice weld, and to add filler material, you have a separate piece that you have to fill in there. And with TIG, in order to keep a good weld, you have to continually adjust. I have it backwards to what I normally would do. We have to adjust the distance of your electrode to the weld as you're adding filler rod. So you have to like get in a motion, and then you have to keep adding in the filler rod as you're going. And it's really hard because you have to position your body, your arms, this electrode, and the filler material, and monitor the puddle. So it's the hardest form, but it looks the nicest. Okay, I can talk about weld puddles, what they will look like when you are welding. A thick puddle will generally be wider, and well, I guess before I talk about weld puddles, I need to talk about how you weld. With thick, you have, say this is a butt weld, and if you use it or get it this way. Thick, you want to have your electrode facing the material at about a 30-degree angle as you're going into the direction of travel, and as it creates an arc, you need to continually keep that in, and when the subject like 2 inches, you can get rid of it. But as you're going, for some applications, you don't have to move the tip around much, but you can go in a motion where you're feed some, draw back, feed some, draw back, feed some, draw back. And so you advance the puddle, you pull it forward, it melts it, and then it'll be a bowl. And then as you pull back, it'll add some in. And so it advances, adds, and so your puddle will have some wide rings to it, and it would look something like that.
So you're pushing, like you're basically pushing it
you're
forward?
moving the puddle, yeah.
Okay.
For MIG, there's well, this is also true for stick, but there's a pulling and a pushing method where your gun either be pulling would be moving the weld puddle in that direction, where your puddle is going to be trailing this way and moving this way, and pulling the puddle because as you advance, you still have the puddle behind you, and then pushing would be having the puddle back here and you're advancing this way. This way is probably a little more difficult, and because you have to weld the puddle like sticks and stuff, but this has a higher V height. It's good for corners and stuff, corner joints, and a kind of a V penetration. And pulling will give you a smaller puddle, but more of a rounded penetration. And so pulling is best for deep penetration, and pushing is for probably thinner metals and stuff you don't want to blow through. And I won't even talk about TIG really. With MIG, when you have your weld, you use the metal right here, you're gonna want to make a arcing pattern as you go, and you're gonna build your puddle as you move along. And you can, that way, and in my class, I've seen kids where they'll do a figure eight pattern. And that, it can work for wider puddles and stuff, but it kind of has a tendency to make a puddle that looks kind of crooked in some places because the puddle won't jump right. And so it's best to have a crescent shape as you're welding to mix. And for smaller welds, if the joint's small enough, you can just pull and back up like the stick is, but you can normally get still a small little crescent going in there.